Oi, you've summoned a lesson maker. What can I do for you? Ah, you're looking for a sellsword. Well, you've come to the right place. If it's muscle you're looking for, there's none better than Donnie and Clyde. That's a pit ranger, ogre bodyguard duo. Too expensive? Makes sense. Here's an elf ranger. They're pretty good at long range. His name's Archie. A spellcaster, that makes sense. Well, here's a warlock for you. His name's Simon. He'll do whatever you say. Ah, you need a feminine touch. It's a witch you want then. We'll cook one right up for you. I ran out of miniatures. One witch should be out in about 10 minutes.
So I'm going to pull out some sprues to use for this project. The kits I'm going to be pulling from today are from the Gut Rippers, Shadow Stalkers, and Black Scorpion miniatures, Old West females. I really love these miniatures. I recommend checking out this company.
I've actually never used cell swords before. I've only been playing Mordheim for about a year. So for me, I'm a D&D player, and I think sellswords are a unique opportunity to incorporate characters that are in miniatures that are retired or whatever into the game of Mordheim. I need to make a witch. I've had an idea for a undead warband and reflavoring everything to be a little more witchy than vampire-y. And so this is going to give me an opportunity to try out the witch, and I can still use it in a game and there's no risk. So we're going to try that out. Also, a couple of weeks ago, I made a witch wagon, and I've always kind of wanted to make the witch for the wagon.
I found a Sylvaneth Ritmanet head, and I'm going to be using that for here. I also have some hair that was in the Shadow Stalkers, and so we're going to use that for the hair in the back to kind of finish off the silhouette. To make sure that this hat wasn't too thick on the brim, what I did was I rolled out a cone. I poked my sculpting tool in the bottom of the cone and then kind of stretched out the brim in a circular motion. And after that, I was able to just put it on the head and kind of sculpt it into the shape I want. I've been doing quite a few concept sketches of this character. An idea I really liked is having a crown. And so I found this bit from the Cruel Boys set. It does a really cool like Witch King of Angmar look. And so I really wanted to include this onto the hat. So last time I did some Mordheim bases, I gave you guys a free STL that you can download on Patreon, and that's still available. But for those of you who are scratch builders, I thought I'd experiment a bit. I decided to cut up some 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter basswood, and I wanted to cut it into thin pieces. It didn't really want to be thin because it would just kind of crumble. It worked fine, and it was a little tall, but I was able to blend it in with some texture paste. If she wasn't wearing a dress and it didn't drape over the cobblestones, I would like it better. But because you could only see the edges of the cobblestone at the end of it, it wasn't the best look. But I look forward to trying this again and maybe cutting them into thinner pieces. So I wanted to put a shield under the foot of this witch, and instinctively I put a raven skull on it, and I had forgotten that I had done the same exact thing on my witch wagon. I think I already have a form of heraldry, which is just kind of a funny, happy accident. I ended up painting it red too. Now the real trick is, how am I going to organize this so that I can remember to use these for a game?
For me, I'm going to have a section on my little display board called the Tavern. And this is going to have all the information, the stats, the gold, and the renting fee, and all that stuff in these cubbies. This is going to help me out because I'm super ADD. And if it's not easily grabbable, it's not getting put on the board. I forget scatter terrain all the time, and I feel like this is going to fall in that category unless I find a solution to that problem.
So slap chop method hasn't really ever worked for me. I don't really like Zenithal highlight, but I decided to give it a try again. I'm a little more familiar with these speed paints, and it worked actually pretty good this time. I decided to go with just doing the base coats for like the main colors, and then after that I went in with some pro-acryl and really kind of leveled up the colors, and you could see that here. If you get a chance, I would really appreciate it if you comment and like the video. That goes a long way to get my small YouTube channel in front of the eyes of other people. And we're only 50 subs away from 2,000, so hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss our future projects. I'm going to thank my Patreon members real quick. Thank you so much to Leroy, Fetter, Caracal, Old School FRP, Burning Heart Custom Creations, James, Anders, Hanover, Grim Drunk, Turborius, Andy, Corey, Mike, Nicholas, Lich's Laboratory, and Cabu. You guys are the best. It makes a heck of a difference. There are a lot of great projects coming up. Feel free to subscribe so you don't miss them. All right, have a good one.